competition, said by Aristotle. As this quotation indicates, my topic for today's talk is competition and everlasting saga. जब भी हम competition word सुनते हैं, so the very first thought that comes to our mind is becoming a winner or a loser. लेकिन क्या competition के सिर्फ यही मायने हैं? In nature, from the beginning of life, competition has been a way of interactions among organisms where only the survival of fittest organism is possible. That is, concept of natural selection, which was explained by Charles Darwin in his book Origin of Species in 1859. It is not that strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change, said by Charles Darwin. ट्राई केविन एवर्ट ने अपनी बुक द हर्ट ऑफ रनिंग में बताया है कि कंपटीशन वर्ड लैटिन भाषा के कंपीटर शब्द से लिया गया है, जिसमें कॉम रेफर्स टू टुगेदर एंड पीटर टू सीक. दैट मीन्स ट्रू competition is striving together for attainment of something. This is a wonderful reframing of what it means to compete. But does it really happen? Let's seek the answer of this question in this session. We human beings, apart from natural competition, usually compete for good education, jobs, leadership, recognition, status, sports, and many more things. To take an overall idea, let's look upon objectives of today's talk. To discuss the history of competition, to identify the sense of competition among the youth, analyzing the biological aspects of competition, to integrate the approach towards the market competition and political influence, to explore the reason to embrace the competition. People without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots, said by Marcus Garvey. आज की कंडीशन को और अच्छे से समझने के लिए पास्ट को जानना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, as history determines who we are, why we are, and the way we are today. Not only today, but competition in earlier time was also tough, as we can see from some examples like competition for honor among soldiers of Neo-Assyrian Empire. Neo-Assyrian Empire was the final stage of Assyrian Empire, stretching throughout Mesopotamia, the Levant, Egypt, Anatolia, and into the parts of Persia and Arabia. From the 9th century onwards, professional warriors from defeated neighboring kingdoms were incorporated into Assyrian army, which was then slowly transformed into a professional standing army. Soldiers competed for recognition, fame, and also eternal life. Military prowess was often expressed in bringing the heads of defeated enemies to the attention of general or king. The more one delivered, the more status one could achieve, status that was expressed in changing in dress, weaponry, and jewelry. Towards the end of the Neo-Assyrian Empire, civil officials started to eclipse soldiers in competition for supreme honors, which was perhaps among the proximate cues for Assyrian collapse. And here we have another example like tripartite struggle. The tripartite struggle, also known as Kannauj Triangle Wars, took place in 8th and 9th century between the three great Indian dynasties, the Pals, the Pratihars, and the Rajputs, for the control over the Kannauj area of northern India. During the early medieval period, Kannauj was seen as a sign of status and authority. Control over Kannauj also meant control of central Gangetic Valley, which was rich in resources and hence strategically and commercially significant. The Pals ruled India's eastern regions, that is Bengal region, while the Pratihars oversaw India's western region, that is Avanti Jalore, and the Deccan area of India was dominated by Rashtrakuts. This was lasted for 2 centuries and was finally won by Rajput Pratihar Emperor Nagabhata II, who established the city as the capital of Pratihara state, which ruled for nearly 3 centuries. This tripartite struggle was actually a competition between 3 great dynasties of India for one single particular reason, that was Kannauj. It resulted into realization of importance of warriors, weapons along with their makers, development of new strategies to win, and abolition of stereotypes regarding caste system to some extent. As we saw, जहां एक और कंपटीशन की वजह से पूरा एम्पायर कोलैप्स हो गया, तो वहीं दूसरी ओर कंपटीशन ने ही लोगों को नई स्ट्रेटेजी सिखाई. Because you are young, you are torn between a word of hate and a word of dreams. So much to lose, so much to gain, so much to fight for, and so much to change. Young generation is not all about fun and enjoyment. There is no easy way that directly goes to success. There are, of course, challenges and struggles that we have to face. Compete or die. Life is a race. If you don't run fast, you will get trampled. This is one of the dialogues of the most famous movie of all the time, Three Idiots, said by Veeru Sahasrabudhe, aka Virus, played by Boman Irani. Unfortunately, our young generation has taken the same sentence very seriously. लाइफ को रेस की तरह लेने का मतलब है कि हम जरा सा भी रेस नहीं कर सकते, अदरवाइज दूसरा पर्सन हमसे आगे निकल जाएगा और हम हार जाएंगे. कंपटीशन इन द एजुकेशन सेक्टर ऑफ आवर सोसाइटी इज ऑन द क्रेस्ट. हम देखते हैं कि स्कूल के पहले दिन से लेकर कॉलेज यूनिवर्सिटी कंप्लीट करने तक हमें कंपीट करना पड़ता है हर एक स्टूडेंट से जो कि प्रिस्क्राइब्ड सिलेबस में अच्छा है, ये भूलकर कि हम किस में अच्छे हैं. Indeed, education is the right of every child, but even if we are good at activities like painting, writing, playing, or any technical stuff other than academic course, we are not allowed to do that. Why is it so? Only because of one single thing. That is our current scenario in our society that is pushing us in the wrong direction and wants us to compete in a field we never want to be part of. In recent years, there has been an increased number of instances of suicides and depressions among Indian students. NCRB के डाटा के अकॉर्डिंग हम हर दिन 28 स्टूडेंट्स की लाइव्स गंवा देते हैं. Data says 10,159 students died by suicide, an increase from in 2018, an increase from 9,905 in 2017. Live a little every day. एक ही जिंदगी मिली है. These were the last few words found on 8-page long note written by a deceased postgraduate student of IIT Hyderabad. And this student was found dead on July 2 last year in his hostel room. Increasing population of India leads to increase in number of candidates appearing in the competitive exams, but seats are not increasing according to need. For example, National Eligibility cum Entrance Test, that is NEET UG, was first held in 2013 for admission in the field of medicine. It became the only medical entrance exam in India in 2016 under the orders of Honorable Supreme Court of India. 2013 में 7,17,127 कैंडिडेट्स ने नीट दिया, जबकि 2020 में कैंडिडेट्स इंक्रीज होकर 15,97,435 हो गए, जो कि ऑलमोस्ट डबल थे. Thus, increasing number of candidates is directly increasing the failures of students in competitive exams and ultimately increasing depression and anxiety among them, which leads to suicide attempts. ये तो बात थी यंग स्टूडेंट्स की, और जब हम कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स ये तो बात है स्टूडेंट्स की जो कि कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स में compete करते हैं. पर अगर हम जॉब प्लेसमेंट की बात करें तो इंडिया हमारी कंट्री जिसकी पॉपुलेशन अप्रोक्स 1.34 बिलियन है, जो कि वर्ल्ड की पॉपुलेशन का 18% है, वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम के अकॉर्डिंग 2024 में इंडिया चाइना को भी ओवरकम कर जाएगा, जो कि वर्ल्ड की लार्जेस्ट पॉपुलस कंट्री है. While India has the world's largest youth population, it has yet to capitalize on this, leaving some 30% of this population without employment. Almost 44% of the workforce is illiterate, and less than 10% of working age population has only completed secondary education. However, due to huge crowd with fresh, smart, and creative mind, they tend to be unique by creating special skills which reduce the competition to great extent. Time to time, government has initiated many projects through which there will be rise in employment level, but it has advanced this competition. Digital India, Make in India, Boeing project in Nagpur are some of them. A high level of competition is sending youths to work hard. Working hard efficiently and effectively with proper use of time steps them ahead towards success. Rachel Carson in 1952 said, "Believing as I do in evolution, I merely believe that it is method by which God created and is still creating life on earth." Competition and evolution. These two terms may seem different but are actually correlated. Speaking more precisely, competition acts as the base for evolution. Universe is around 20 billion years old, where Earth was supposed to have been formed about 4.5 billion years back. Whereas life appeared 500 million years after formation of Earth, that is almost 4 billion years ago. एक्वेटिक हैबिटेट से लेकर टेरेस्ट्रियल हैबिटेट तक ऑर्गेनिजम्स की अलग अलग स्पीशीज टाइम के साथ इवोल्व करती आई हैं और ये इवोल्व करती कैसे हैं? टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस कॉन्सेप्ट, let's take some example of anole lizard species. A newly published study from Harvard University found that in just 20 generations in 15 years, green anole lizard evolved larger toe pads equipped with more sticky scales to allow for better climbing. ज्यादातर इस तरह के चेंजेस आने में हजारों साल लग जाते हैं, लेकिन लिमिटेड फूड रिसोर्सेज की कंडीशन में एनोल लिजार्ड की स्पीशीज का इवोल्यूशन एक सरप्राइजिंग स्पीड के साथ हुआ. The only anole species native to United States, these small lizards are typically found on or near the base of trees where they feed largely on insects. When brown anoles were introduced to this country in 1950s, these highly invasive lizards quickly began to crowd out the native species and drove green anoles of the forest floor to higher perches. पेड़ों के ऊपर जाने को मजबूर ग्रीन एनोल्स ने बस 15 सालों में बड़े टोपेट्स इवोल्व कर लिए ताकि इंसेक्ट्स को इजीली कैच किया जा सके. As their both brown and green species of anole lizard were competing with each other, they evolved a new specialized method. एनोल्स की कुछ स्पीशीज जमीन के इंसेक्ट्स को खाती थी और कुछ ट्रीज के इंसेक्ट्स पर फीड करती थी. This is a positive and wonderful adaptation shown by anole species living in extreme competition, but nature has vast varieties of organisms which interact and compete with each other, and sometimes it leads to extinction of one of them. इसका बेस्ट एग्जाम्पल है टेरर ऑफ बंगाल. 1884 में एक प्लांट स्पीशीज वाटर हैसिन को उसके सुंदर फ्लावर्स और पत्तियों की शेप को देखते हुए बंगाल में लाया गया. बट किसी को ये आइडिया नहीं था कि ये सुंदर दिखने वाला पौधा जल्द ही टेरर ऑफ बंगाल बन जाएगा. नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज, हाउ डिड दैट हैपन? Water hyacinth is an aquatic weed which has an ability to drain oxygen from water and causes water deficiency. थोड़े ही समय में ये इतना ज्यादा फैल गया कि फिशेस और बाकी ऑर्गेनिजम्स तक ऑक्सीजन एंड सनलाइट पहुंच ही नहीं पाई, जो कि उनके सर्वाइवल के लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है. Due to high growth rate of water hyacinth, fishes living there could not get enough time to evolve themselves and compete for same resources. And at last, due to scarcity of basic resources like food, those all species of fishes got extinct. सिर्फ यही नहीं, ऐसे बहुत सारे केसेस हैं जहां स्पीशीज सेम रिसोर्सेज के लिए compete करती हैं और जब compete नहीं कर पाती तो extinct हो जाती हैं. Hence, competition among species varies greatly. We can't predict easily whether it will lead to evolution or extinction of a species. Politics is not a game, but a serious business, said by Winston Churchill. Whenever we talk about power or status of a country, the first question arises is that how much powerful its leaders are. और best leader को चुनने का सबसे अच्छा तरीका है political competition. So now let's understand what political competition is. Political competition is competition for political power. Political leaders compete for the ability to shape and control the content and direction of public policies. Rivalry for the capacity to influence or determine official governmental decision making and action on questions of public policies. This is political competition, which is mainly all about elections. The competition takes various forms. The most obvious one is competition among political parties to get the leadership. Regular electoral competition provides incentives to political parties and leaders. When elections arrive, political parties try to get maximum votes by making promises to solve all those problems which they usually don't even talk about. As the competitors increase, political parties tries to serve people and gain their trust and votes. This type of system gives a fair chance to people for responsible government. Many times, increasing competition causes divisions and conflicts. However, if competition doesn't exist, there can't be a country with democratic setup. और डेमोक्रेटिक सेटअप ही नहीं, बेटर फ्यूचर और वर्ल्ड पावर बनने के लिए हर कंट्री को इकोनॉमिकली भी स्ट्रांग होना चाहिए. इन कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड, greater competitiveness creates more productivity and better quality of products and services. Companies can satisfy consumers' preferences and consequently attain a position in a market. The market grows steadily and consumers benefit from lower prices and a more comprehensive range of goods and services. Sometimes a single corporation tries to dominate the market, and at that time several conflicts arise. To deal with such conflicts, in our country, India, we have a Competition Act. It is act commonly known as the Competition Act 2002. It is an act to provide keeping in view of economical development of country for the establishment of a commission to prevent practices having adverse effect on competition, to promote, explain and sustain competition in markets, to protect the interest of consumers, to ensure freedom of trade carried on by other participants in markets in India, and for matters connected therewith and incidental thereto. This act extends to whole of India, except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. When we talk about politics and economics together, the operation of markets and of politics are in a practice are deeply intertwined. Political decisions set the rules of the game for the market competition, and conversely, market competitors participate in and influence political decisions. If political decisions affect market structure, and that market structure in turn determines the power of firms to participate in and influence political decisions, a circularity develops in which market and political outcomes are co-determined. Governments can raise or lower corporation tax, which will impact on profits. They can also affect business by increasing value-added tax on products or business rates. They can bring in new laws like national minimum wage, which impact on profit and employment rights. Similarly, business often engage in a variety of tactics to influence government policies. This includes lobbying, political contributions, and interest group politics. Thus, there is a strong relationship between economics and politics because the performance of an economy is one of the key political battlegrounds. Many economic issues are inherently political because they lend themselves to different opinions. It is said from hard work and endeavor we receive our due. But that life is a like competition, I believe to be true. In all facets of life, people compete to succeed, and that winner or greeners does seem to be true indeed. जहां भी देखें तो हर जगह कट थ्रोट कंपटीशन है. अगर हम स्लो हैं तो रेस से बाहर, और अगर हम फास्ट हैं तो जीत हमारी, जब तक कि कोई हमसे फास्ट ना हो. पर इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि कंपटीशन बुरा है. कंपटीशन हेल्दी होना चाहिए. When competition is healthy, it spurs you to outshine others. कंपटीशन हर एक इंडिविजुअल को उसके फुल पोटेंशियल को यूज करने का चांस देता है. एज ए स्टूडेंट मैं भी जानती हूँ कि कंपटीशन फेस करना कितना टफ होता है, बट द फैक्ट इज कि हम अपने एफर्ट्स और स्किल्स को तभी लगाते हैं जब कोई स्ट्रॉन्ग कॉम्पिटिटर हमारे अगेंस्ट खड़ा हो. Competition teaches us to recover fast, and over time, we strive for the best in us. While losing is a phase in competition, winning is the other side of coin, and competition teaches us these facts of life. Having competition in business means there is more than one company out there marketing goods and services, creating more consumer awareness, and ultimate new innovations, better qualities of products and services are being developed. Stanford psychologist and author of Mindset, the New Psychology of Success, tells us कि कंपटीशन ग्रोथ माइंडसेट क्रिएट करता है, ना कि फिक्स्ड माइंडसेट. You can't always be the most talented in the room, but you can be the most competitive one. At last, I would like to conclude by saying that competition itself should not be demonized to an extent. It puts an end to evolution, and also competition should not be taken as a pedestal where it kills individual talents. A healthy balance should be maintained where competitive spirit is there, but it should not be become suffocating. न पूछो कि मेरी मंजिल कहाँ है, अभी तो सफर का इरादा किया है. न हारूंगी हौसला उम्र भर, ये मैंने किसी और से नहीं खुद से वादा किया है. इसी के साथ I want to end my talk here. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, Ms. Preeti. It was very wonderful and commendable talk. Now it's time to tackle some of the questions by our enthusiastic listeners. So the first question is asked by Mr. Puneet Kumar. He's asking, does one can blindly assume the rightness behind the competitive index as there are some parameters which is not include an institution or organization which publish them are always not corrupt or lean towards benefits of one country? May I repeat?
Yeah, sure.
He has asked, does one can blindly assume the rightness behind the competitive index as there are some parameters which is not include the institution or organization which publish them are also not corrupt or lean towards benefits of one country?
इसका ये मतलब हुआ प्रीति कि क्या हमें कोई कॉम्पिटिटिव इंडेक्स पे डिपेंड होना चाहिए या और क्या क्या आइडिया हो सकता है कंपटीशन को लेके. सो वेदर वी डिपेंड अपॉन द वन कॉम्पिटिटिव इंडेक्स और वी आर सेवरल थिंग्स अदर. प्रीति, ओवर टू यू.
सर, कंपटीशन सिर्फ एक, मतलब हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि वो एक सिर्फ एक पर्टिकुलर चीज के लिए है. कंपटीशन के लिए सेवरल फील्ड्स होते हैं और हर एक फील्ड में एक डिफरेंट स्किल्ड चीज होनी चाहिए, डिफरेंट हमें एक थिंकिंग होनी चाहिए उसको ओवरकम करने के लिए. सो वी कांट से कि हम एक टाइप के कॉम्पिटिटिव चीज में सिर्फ एक स्ट्रेटजी के साथ काम कर सकते हैं, उस तरह से सोच सकते हैं.
Okay, thank you so much. Next question is from Ms. Shubhi Singh. Is competitiveness necessary for one's growth?
Of course, कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस, जैसे मैंने टॉक में भी बताया कि कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस हमें हमेशा मोटिवेटेड रखती है और रिस्क लेने के लिए प्रिपेयर करती है. हमेशा हमें कॉन्फिडेंस देती है. जब भी हम कोई भी कंपटीशन या फिर कोई भी चैलेंज ओवरकम करते हैं, किसी भी ऑब्स्टेकल को ओवरकम करते हैं, तो ऑफ कोर्स हमारा कॉन्फिडेंस इंक्रीज होता है और इसी की वजह से फिर हम नए एफर्ट्स और नई चीज़ों को एक्सप्लोर करते हैं और फिर हमारा ओवरऑल डेवलपमेंट होता है. सो ऑफ कोर्स.
Okay, next question. Do you think competitive exam puts backward student on a back foot?
Will you please repeat?
Do you think क्या competitive exam जो स्टूडेंट मतलब बैकवर्ड होते हैं उन्हें बैक फुट पे ही रहने देता है, क्या उन्हें आगे नहीं पढ़ने देता?
नो, आई डोंट थिंक सो. क्योंकि कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स में इस एक चीज़ का हमेशा ध्यान रखा जाता है कि जैसे ये जो चीटिंग्स और मतलब फ्रॉड्स वगैरह होते हैं, ये नहीं होते. सो जो बैकवर्ड स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो बैकवर्ड नहीं रहते. इफ दे मेक एफर्ट्स, दे आर हार्ड वर्किंग एंड दे आर स्मार्ट वर्किंग, दे विल डेफिनेटली मूव टुवर्ड्स देयर गोल.
Okay, now last question is from my side. What was your experience throughout the preparation of your talk, and what do you feel about this initiative?
There are more
Yes, sir.
question on chat box. There are more question on
Okay.
chat box. Kindly pick Vaik, Sandhya and Archana. Kindly pick these two questions also.
This question I made just now, that's fine. Okay, the two more question. Why competitiveness is necessary?
कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस इसीलिए नेसेसरी है क्योंकि जब भी कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस होगी तभी हम अपने बेस्ट एफर्ट्स को डाल पाएंगे. अगर कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस नहीं है तो हम लेजी हो जाएंगे. हम क्यों करेंगे? क्योंकि हम बेस्ट हैं, अभी ऑलरेडी हैं, हमारे अगेंस्ट कोई कॉम्पिटिटर खड़ा नहीं है जो कि हमसे आगे जाए. जब हमारे अगेंस्ट कोई कॉम्पिटिटर होगा, जब हमारे बीच में एक हेल्दी कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस होगी, तभी हम एक दूसरे से आगे जाने की कोशिश करेंगे. और इसमें होगा क्या कि हम दोनों का ही डेवलपमेंट, जो मेरा कॉम्पिटिटर है उससे और जो मैं हूँ उससे, दोनों का ही ओवरऑल डेवलपमेंट होता है. बोथ ट्राई टू डू द बेस्ट.
Okay. Okay. Now, do you think that too much competition puts a negative impact on an individual?
यस, ऑफ कोर्स. इसमें मैं अपना खुद का एग्जांपल लेना चाहूँगी कि मैंने लास्ट ईयर एक कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट में एडमिशन लिया एंड व्हाट आई फेस्ड व्हेन देयर वर सो मेनी स्टूडेंट्स वेरी इंटेलिजेंट एंड वेरी they were very good at the syllabus. So when मैं स्कूल में बहुत अच्छी स्टूडेंट थी, लाइक इन एजुकेशन एंड ओवरऑल एक्टिविटीज. बट व्हेन आई वेंट देयर एंड सा एवरीवन, आई वाज लाइक व्हाट्स हैपनिंग. सो उस टाइम पे होता ये है कि मार्जिनल स्टूडेंट भी जब ओवर कॉम्पिटिटिव जगह पे जाता है, सो उसकी परफॉर्मेंस डाउन चली जाती है. और फिर होता ये है कि मेंटल हेल्थ जो है वो कम हो जाती है और डिप्रेशन, एंजाइटी, ये सारी चीज़ें आती हैं. फिर वो फिजिकल हेल्थ, मेंटल हेल्थ और हर तरह की हेल्थ, जैसे सोशल, इकोनॉमिक, हर एक हेल्थ में इम्पैक्ट करता है. तो ऑफ कोर्स जब ज़्यादा कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस होता है तो इंडिविजुअल का अगर उसको कोई सपोर्ट नहीं मिलेगा, देन ही और शी कैन गो टुवर्ड्स अ नेगेटिव पाथ्स.
Okay, thank you so much. You tackled it very well. So, moving ahead, tell me about your experience, about your preparation of your talk, and what do you feel about this initiative?
When I talk about this initiative, so it definitely, of course, it is a wonderful initiative. Like, I have never seen any platform which is giving students a chance to tell their views, or like, I have never given any kind of presentation like this. Or even if I'm a student who takes opportunities, but I have never found such a platform where I can show my views or share my views. So of course this is a wonderful initiative. And while I was working with the team of Saksha Society and GSTS, it was really a wonderful experience. I learned so many new things. Even if I'm different from BA program, but still uh, teachers and like Manish sir and my other friends like Nikita and my one more friend Sandhya, she was helping me. And जितने भी members थे साक्षी के, वो सभी help कर रहे थे जितना, और इतना politely, humbly, मतलब वो बात कर रहे थे. Especially मानवी दीदी, अर्चना दीदी, शुभी दीदी and Shailendra, they were all definitely very good. They were helping me out with every single thing.
Thank you so much, Ms. Preeti. Now, I would like to invite our today's guest of honor, Professor Anand Prakash Mishra sir, for his indispensable comment and valuable remarks over the topic and event about this initiative. Sir.
Thank you, Shiva. So Preeti was amazing. I loved loved the way she transcended boundaries of disciplines, because she looked at competition not just from one particular perspective, say competition in the society, in academics or exams, but she looked at competition from politics or electoral politics, political history, as well as Even she combined law, Competition Commission of India, she referred to, which is an organization of Government of India, ensuring fair competition in the market. And basically, it's all lawyers and economists who work together to ensure that there is no unfair advantage, earned by some cartel or some monopolistic trade practices or unfair trade practices happen in the country, in the industry. So you actually combined politics, economics, history, as well as a bit of sciences when you talk about evolution of species and the competition to survive. So it's amazing. You did a great job, and I appreciate. There were few spelling mistakes in your presentation. Make it better next time. I could find that, but that's all acceptable. You prepared well, spoke well, and I'm very happy that I spent this time, listening to you and being part of this colloquium, being part of this talk series. Now, I should also add that there were a few questions from students, like Arvind has asked which competition is better, competing with ourselves or others. And here, I strongly feel uh, competition should always be with your own self. You can always do better. There is no limit to excellence. And whoever you are looking at around you, it's a very small group of people. For example, in your class, Preeti, you might be studying with 60 or 100 students. But those 60 or 100 students are not the competition, not the people you are competing with. Even I will tell you, it's not all the students of your university or all the students of Delhi University. It's billions of people of your age, not just in India, but around the world. Today, as a student, you are not part of only one particular institution. The technology has made a level playing field. Sitting in Delhi or any place, you are actually connected to the whole world. Whatever you do now, it impacts the whole world. So when world becomes a global village, the competition is global. You are not just a student of, say, sciences or economics or history or any discipline in a particular university or college and limited to that institution. You have massive online resources, even from MIT and Harvard, and a lot of free resources, academic resources available for you, which you can find if you are willing to learn and make yourself better. So you can actually compete. Being a student at Delhi University, you can compete with the students of Harvard University. You can compete with the students of Oxford and Cambridge University. So it's all a global world. So at the same time, when you compete with yourself, what you do, you make yourself better every day. What you did today, you have to improve upon that next day. So that is what I feel that should be the spirit of competition. And in that process, you will certainly going to outdo others if you are doing justice with yourself and with your own aspirations. Another thing I would like to tell you, uh, there was a question about competitive exams, and a student asked that whether competitive exams or the kind of competition which is happening in the country, do you think competitive exam put backward student on a back foot? First of all, no student is a backward student. You understand? Every student is just a student and young scholar. You have to pursue a scholarship. You have to gain knowledge. If you are a sincere individual, if you are a sincere student, you can't use the term backward student. There is nothing like a backward or forward student, right? A student is a student. And a student means a young scholar, one who is pursuing a scholarship. It's not just about passing exams, getting degrees, attending classes. That's just part of the process, but that's not the mission. The mission is to develop yourself as a learned individual, as a qualified professional, as someone who is different, who enters in the portals of a college or university, and when you graduate, you are a new individual. So I'm sure the way Dr. Karmwar and other professors of Shamlal College and this kind of mentoring and this kind of commitment, this talk series itself is an example of, how to outdo competition. You tell me one college in Delhi University, including the topmost ST-FAN and SRCC and LSR and Miranda House and Hindu and Ansaraj with richer legacy, who have done 88 talks on 88 weeks continuously without interruption. So kudos to this. I mean, you have done it, and this is continuing. So, I believe you can beat the competition if you are systematic, if you are focused, if you are punctual, if you are committed, if you are ready to sacrifice, and if you really work hard. And this talk series itself, when we celebrate 100 talks, it should be a bigger event, and I will be personally happy to bring more speakers, maybe someone from Harvard University or Oxford University background. And of course, we should invite the Vice Chancellor of University of Delhi and the principal of the college and more people from academia to witness that the young kids, the young students of Shamlal College evening and the young volunteers made it happen that 100 talks for 100 weeks continued without fail, and under able leadership of my dear friend, Dr. Manish Karmwar and other faculty members. So with these words, I'm extremely happy to be part of this. And thank you so much for having me here. And all the very best to every student who attended this. I wish all the very best for your future. And you all are welcome to meet me in my university whenever you are in Sonipat, in Haryana. And I'll be absolutely delighted if a GSTS scholar, a GSTS speaker, or a volunteer comes and sees me on my campus. Thank you.
And kind words for insightful thoughts. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation for GSTS 88. Thank you so much, sir.